Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we discuss about ab initio Rollup component. In Rollup component, we discuss about Rollup concept and purpose, list of parameters, template mode and expanded mode, sorted and unsorted input data, Rollup keys like null key, key change functions, runtime behavior of Rollup component, and max score. So this video will help you if you are preparing for interview or you are new to the ab initio. That will be clear your basic understanding of Rollup component. So now let's start. So Rollup component, when we should use, as we know that Rollup component, that if you are having many input record and output if you want one record according to your key based. So based on that you can use Rollup component. Suppose many to one based on your same key. Okay. So few points that I have given here. Rollup process group of input record that have the same key. Means if you have same key for a record, then those record will create single output and generate one output record for each group. Okay, the output record will be summarized or aggregate based on your requirement. The simple Rollup might calculate sum, average, or one or more input record. Means you can calculate your input record like some group of record, you want some count, sum, average, minimum, max value, or so we will discuss in this video. So in Rollup that provides two type of modes. That is, first one is template mode and another one is expanded mode. So when we should use template mode and when we should expanded mode. Template mode, it is basic that we are using basic aggregate function. So there is some list of functions, predefined functions is there. So those we can use in template mode. But in expanded mode, we will not allow to use predefined aggregate functions. Here you can use your user defined function, means your own functions. It will be give you more control. So details will be discussed in further video. But now we will discuss some list of parameters. So these are the parameters that I have given here, and I have highlighted the important parameters that we are going to be discussed in this video. So let's suppose key and sorted input, transform, and max score. So these are the important parameters that we will discuss in this video. So now first we will discuss sorted input parameter. So this parameter will check the record you're sorted or not. If your input record is sorted, then you can give the value as true because default value is true, or if your input record is unsorted, then you can give false. Next we have parameter key method. So we have two types of key method. One is key specifier and another one is key change functions. So when we should use key specifier and when you should use key change functions. So as we know that your input record is grouped and you know the key, then you can use key specifier and provide the key. And if you don't have the key in your input record, you don't know what are the group that you have to make as a key. You have, let's suppose every 5 record you have to make as a group, then you can use the key change function. For details related to key change function or example, we discuss in another video. So now move to the null key. So null key that we have to specify in key means that will be tell your component that all the group, all the input record have one single group. Means there is no key and it is like null key we can call, and it will be give your one output record. And next parameter, as we have now transform. So transform is required so for mapping from input to output. Okay, and next parameter we have max score. So max score, as we know, it is the important, and many interviewer they will ask what about max score. So detail we'll discuss in another video, but basic we'll discuss like what is the default value of Rollup max score. So default is like 64 MB. So max memory, it is like it will be tell your component that this much size is required. Once your input record is unsorted and the parameter in sorted input is you have set to false, then only your max score will be enabled and you can provide the value. Now we will discuss with sorted data and unsorted data, because in Rollup component we will accept sorted and unsorted both. So your output record will be vary. If your sorted input is parameter is set to true, then your output record will give the last record of each group. If your sorted input parameter is false, then it will be give any record its alphabetically order from the your group. It is not like give the first record or and last record. It can make vary any record it will be give. So make sure if you have given sorted input parameter set to true, then your all input record must be sorted based on your key, and unsorted false. If you have given unsorted or sorted input parameter false, then it doesn't care about your input record is coming sorted or unsorted. Then what will happen, your max score parameter will be enabled and it will be stored there. Means it will be tell your memory will be allocate whatever the size that you have specified or default, so that it will be tell your component that this much unsorted record is coming, I need space to store here. Once your performance or transform completed, then it max score memory will be released. So this is how about. So now we move to next topic like template mode. So in template mode we have some list of aggregate functions that we have: accumulate, average, concatenation, count, first, last, mean, max, previous. So these are the aggregate functions we can use here. You can pause the video and you can go through this. So I have given one example of template mode. So left hand side you can see one example that I have given without aggregate functions. So here it is like just we are mapping from in.key to out.key. Means there is no aggregate function, no function supplied. Based on your group of record, it will give one output record. But right hand side that I have given another example that is using aggregate functions, and here I am using sum. So sum, it will be calculated based on your key and it will give total sum of your group of record. So next we will have one example that I have given here, expanded mode. So in expanded mode, how we can switch from template to expand, then you have to go to the GD transform editor. There you have option, edit option. So if you choose the edit option, and there is, you just have to click on the package mode. Okay, so package mode, once you click the double click on the package mode, and temporary type, if you're giving or if you specify some temporary type value, then it will be switch from template mode to expand mode. In expanded mode we have to specify temporary type, then we have initialization, then we have Rollup functions, then we have finalize functions. So these are the 4 functions that we can use in expanded mode. So here you can see one example that I have given for each function. So in expand mode, Rollup requires temporary storage. The value of temporary type is maintained across the record and groups. So if you have specified the temporary type, that will be your local storage, local variable. Okay. Local transform. And then next we have initialize function. So the initialize function initialize the temporary storage by setting up value for the temporary storage field. So whatever the temporary type that you have defined, let's suppose count, so here you can initialize that value like 0, 1, or you can give your input value, because in is your in parameter is there, argument is there. Okay, so this will be initialized every group first record. So every group it will be initialized your first record, not for all record. Okay, so next we have Rollup functions. So these Rollup functions will be work your every input record. Let's suppose in your group a group having 10 record, so all 10 times it will be execute. So it will be store your temporary value as well as your input value, means your previous value, and it will be your current value. Previous value you can check through the temp per argument, and in that will be your current input value. Once Rollup functions utilized, then finally it will be come to it will be called your finalize functions. So here also we have two argument, temp and in. So it will be called one your Rollup is giving the all your group record execution is completed, then it will be called your finalize function, and it will be sent to your output. So this is what your expanded mode functions will work. So next we have two more functions is there, that is called input select and output select. So input select, as we know that this input record will be filtered out before coming to your Rollup component, and output select will work once your finalize record is finalized and it's sending to your output port. At the time it will be filter what are the output record you want. And next we will discuss like key change functions. So these key change functions, as earlier in this video we discussed like key method. If you specify that key change functions, then it will be called to the key change functions. Okay, so high level we can discuss here that one example. So key change function will hold two argument, in1 and in0. In1 that is your previous record, but in2 that will be your current record. So whatever the expression that we have specified in your key change functions, so that will be check whether your expression is true or false. If it is written true, then your key change it will be create your new group. If it is written 0 or false, then it will be tell your component that this is the same key record. Okay, so these are the points. You can pause the video and you can go through this, but details level or example related of key change functions I'll create another video and I will explain you how does it work. Now we will discuss about runtime behavior of Rollup component. So in Rollup component, first we read the record from input. So in input port, after that we have specify input select, then it will be read your statement whether your expression is true, false or null. If it is true, then it is sending to next steps. If false, then your record will be discarded, and if it is null, then your component may be failed. So you have to handle the null or the reject threshold. You have to do like never abort. So if you do the never abort, then those rejected record you can capture in reject mode. So once the input selection is done, then it will become to your key parameter. So key parameter, basically we have two types, right? One is the key that we specify and another one is the key change functions. So key change functions will work if your sorted input is true, then only key change function will be enabled, and it will be if you have specified key change functions, then it will be accept your first record of group. Accept your first record of group, then next will be check the key change, whether key change required or not. So it will be go to that your key change function expression and it will be decide. But first record, it will be skip. Once the key parameter is completed, then your record will be called temporary initialization. If you have defined anything in your type defined, or you have specified initialization, so then it will become to initialization section, then computation section, then finalize section. So these are the process that will work, but finalize functions will work based on your input. Sorted input is true or false. If you have specified true, then it will be finalize the last record of group, and if you have sorted input is false, then your finalize function will call albeit order. It's not any order is there. Then last it will be called output selection. So this is the overall runtime behavior of Rollup component. So if you have any questions, doubt or clarification needed, then you can put your question in comment sections, or you can reach out to me in the description that I've given, WhatsApp, email or my LinkedIn ID. Okay. So this is how overall, and I'm requesting you guys to please subscribe my channel, like these videos, so that it will be encourage me and I can create more videos related to ab initio. Thank you so much for watching this video.